I'm Wade.
Hey, what's up? How you doing? It's another Mix It Up podcast. I'm your host, Joel Hawkins, and of course, I'm here with
H. Jones.
Yay! Okay, so again, random pickings that YouTube is doing, and because this is a different, okay, so it's BTS Map of the Soul 7 Interlude Shadow. Holy crap, that's a mouthful. So that's what we're going to be watching today. Now, y'all have tried to help us understand Map of the Soul is an album or a series of songs. I didn't know if they were across multiple albums or and they all just kind of, create like a topic of conversation. I don't know. It could be an album and I'm just losing my mind. But we watched a long time ago, I think the outro. Ego. Yeah. I think we watched that one. But this is Shadow. So is it Interlude Shadow. So we're going to check this one out. I don't know what these are. If they're just music videos, is it a song, a map of song, is an album? I don't know. A show?
Now we got to find the rest of them.
So yeah, we got to find all of them. Well, it's random. So I don't know.
Maybe a month or so.
Yeah. It might take us like 2 months. Like it'll show us 1 and then be like 3 weeks later, 2, 4, 5, 8, 10, 14. Yeah. Who knows? But, don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you know when new things are coming out. Don't forget to check out mk5studios.com if you're a business owner and you need graphic design, web design, or video post-production. Yeah, other than that, let's check out the video. It'll be fun. Yeah. I hope it's aggressive.
You've been on an aggressive kick today.
Yeah. I just want to get moving. What? Trippy. What? That's dope already.
I wanna be rapped.
Look at that's cool.
I wanna be the top. I wanna be rocked. I want it on mine. I wanna be rich. I wanna be the king. I wanna go win. I wanna be rapped. I wanna be the top. I wanna be rocked. I want it on mine. I wanna be rich. I wanna be the king. I wanna be me. I wanna big thing. Oh boy, let me see. I got a big dream. Yeah. 매일 설레지 내가 어디까지 갈지. 정신없이 달리다 보니 어느새 여기까지 왔지. Yeah. 발 밑에 그림자. 고개 숙여 보니 더 커지잖아. 도망쳐봤잖아 따라오는 저 빛과 비례하는 내 그림자. 두려워 누가 나는 게 난 무섭지. 아무도 말 안 해줬잖아 여기가 얼마나 외로운지 말여. 나의 도약은 추락이 될 수 있단 걸 이제 알겠어. 때론 도망이 자선이란 걸. 사람들은 뭐 말하지 저 빗속은 찬란한 내 근데 내 그림도 안 되는 더 커져 나를 삼킨 괴물이 돼. 저 위로 또 위로만 가다 보니 여긴 어디로 더 위로만 가는 신혼 무사히 바른 대로 높게 날고 있는 순간 저 내려지는 빛에 더 커진 그림자. Please don't let me shine, don't let me down, don't let me fly. 이제는 두려워 가장 밑바닥에 나를 마주하는 순간 공교롭게도 여긴 창문이잖아. Please don't let me shine, don't let me down, don't let me fly. 이제는 무서워 don't let me shine. I wanna be the top, I wanna be a rockstar. I want it on mine, I wanna be rich, I wanna be the king. I wanna go win. I wanna be rapped. I wanna be the top. I wanna be rocked. I want it on mine. I wanna be rich. I wanna be the king. I wanna be me. I wanna be. 그래 나는 너는 나야 이제 알겠니. 그래 너는 나는 너야 이제 알겠지. 우리랑 몸을 걷고 너는 나를 즐겼지. 너는 절대 나를 떼어낼 수 없어 알겠지. 떼어낼 수 없어 네가 뭐를 하든지. 인정하는 게 더 편안하겠지. 성공 혹은 실패 연애이든지. 꿈은 칠 수 없어 어딜 가든지. 나는 너고 너는 나야 알겠니. 너는 나고 나는 너야
Oh, that went to that
like,
literally
really?
went to a different video. Okay, so dude, that was aggressive.
There
I
you
liked
go.
it.
That's what you've been waiting on.
Dude, that was very good. And honestly, it was really dope sounding because he went 3 different layers. So it was like, of course, there's many different properties and pieces, but it was 3 different vibes that you felt.
Yeah.
And it got more aggressive with each vibe. And that last one was just like, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, that was kind of a violent rap. I like it. It made me very, very happy.
Violence makes me happy.
I know that sounds horrible. It was Interlude Shadow. I need to look it up. That's how Map of the Souls actually.
Ah.
That makes more sense now. Ego, self, persona, shadow, animus, consciousness, personal unconsciousness, collective unconsciousness. That makes perfect sense.
So it's deep.
It's from Jung's Map of the Soul. It's their musical version of Jung's Map of the Soul book.
Okay.
And honestly, it's the same theory of the way I live my life, which is a balance between nature. It's understanding the light and dark side, understanding the emotional value, understanding you fail, be self-aware, just be happy, try to look for the happier parts in life, understand that darker things exist and you can't control everything. You know, that's the inner world, the outer world. Persona, self, shadow, you know, trying to keep it where it's all encompassing and unis. But yeah, so this is the shadow side, which would be the darker part of the animus. Come on. Youngie in a long hallway lined with many doors, shadow figures invoking imagery of multiple aspects that compose one shadow. As the song opens with him describing how he wants to be on top, their graphic overlays. Oh, Rule 8.2. I didn't see a graphic. Harkening back to a previous BTS album like we saw in Persona, school love affair reference. I don't know any of that. Haven't watched. I mean, we've watched a lot of BTS stuff. We haven't watched everything, you know?
If it's referring to the other Map of the Soul, then I don't think we've seen that one.
I think it's referring to just another video period.
See,
They're going into the video. I'm trying to understand the song.
There was a one, I think is Boy in Love, I think it was, where they were like in the school setting. It was a while back. I think that was the only one I can think of that had anything with school setting.
Map of the Soul, essentially the album touches upon the themes of reflection, introspection, and the band's path to self-acceptance. One message that penetrates the album as a whole is you must face your inner shadow, but resist becoming submerged into its depths. Which makes perfect sense. Because again, like the stuff I've learned when it comes to philosophy, and there's so many different types of philosophy that exist out there. But what I've learned that I really kind of took to heart was that affecting your own persona, your own life, your own primitive id, if you will, is that certain things you feel, emotions that come up, that churn, that you don't have control over them, but you do have control on whether you use them or not. So a lot of people will try to bottle them up, which is not healthy. And a lot of people just let them overflow and get into every crevice of their soul, right? But you can't be self-aware. You can't be happy. You can't be fulfilled. You can't do any of these things. If you try to bottle up all your stuff, then you'll be okay for a while, but eventually it will crack. And when that shell cracks and the dam breaks, that's usually where you see pent-up aggression, you see pent-up rage and things like that come to play. Like someone cuts you off and you get out of the car, beat the shit out of them, and then put a bullet in their head. I'm like, Jesus, that was an over reaction. It's like, well, he spent 40 years being yelled at, screamed at, nagged, treated like shit, and he just took it. And I'm like, well, maybe that's not an excuse for what you did, but at least it makes more sense why you would be so drastic and do something crazy like that, you know, because you just broke, you snapped. And then you have the opposite, which is the people who just vomit their emotions over everyone and everything. And they don't care about anyone else. It's literally just vomiting everything that they are over everyone else and expecting everyone else to pick it up and everyone else to take care of it and everyone else to accept them how they are. But I can tell you right now, that's bullshit too, because you're not going to have successful relationships if all you do is throw everything on everyone else and expect them to carry it. That's not going to work. It never works. So you got to find that balance where you allow the emotions to wash over you, but you don't go, hey, you guys want to be in every crevice of my soul? Let's have some fun. Like that's, oh, dark thoughts? Let me go ahead and think about you more. Like you don't do that. You allow the feeling to wash over you and you let it go. And then you take the time and introspection to truly look into your life and your preferences and what you want and what you wish for, what you hope for, what you want to take a risk on, all these different things. Because if you don't do that and you make mistakes, then you're going to have to pay for them later. And usually it's going to be mostly self issues that you're going to have issues with. Again, if you're vomiting everything and you're bottling up everything, then it becomes internalized issues. Because if you're vomiting everything, someone's going to beat the shit out of you eventually. They're going to be tired of dealing with your bullshit, or you're going to be completely abandoned and feel like, oh, I can't believe everyone did this to me.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing, is you've been vomiting that negativity, hatred, and putridness, and then you're upset with everyone else because they don't want to be around you. It's like, because we don't want to hear you bitch and moan and complain.
It's bad energy.
Yeah, we don't want to hear every single aspect of your life's just so horrible and fuck these people and I'm just, no one likes me. It's like, well, change some shit. And I know that sounds bad. I'm not trying to say change who you are as a person, just tweak.
You can make changes to be happy. That's possible.
Yeah. I mean, well, I'm just trying to make sure that people don't, I'm not talking about people like surface value bullshit. I don't care about that. I'm saying if you're a person who's extremely negative, narcissistic, and vomiting your emotions and feelings and gaslighting everybody, you need to make a change because no one's going to want to hang out with you anymore. Like my mom used to say, no one's going to want to play with you if you suck to play with, So
brought me back like 30 years right there.
I know, exactly, right? But at the same time, you got to learn to be able to play alone, and be your own person, because you're not going to be able to find happiness if it's directly attached to the way other people think,
Yeah.
So you got to walk that balance. You can't be overtly elitist vomiting everything, and you can't be bottled up and repressed because you're going to explode eventually, because you're just bottling up a whole bunch of shit that literally you could have let go. But you decided to bottle it. And after 30 years, you go crazy, snap, and shoot a bunch of people in your office,
What happened? My coffee was always cold. They knew I wanted my coffee hot, but nobody pays attention to me. Like, wait
I don't think it's that. I'm talking about, like, being abused as a kid.
But it's little things.
Being, like, abused or treated like shit as a kid and repressing that. And then having horrible relationships where you get cheated on all the time and repressing that. Just being very... too meek for the world, or too strong that you repress everything and then you're just going to explode. Yeah. Now, if you repress and you're meek, then you're most likely going to hurt yourself. If you repress and you try and act tough, then you're most likely going to hurt a lot of other people. Actually, no, I think that's the polar opposite. It's either way. Who cares? But
we don't have degrees. It's okay.
Yeah. We don't have any type of degrees or anything like that.
Well, wait. We don't have degrees in that.
Yeah. I mean, I've studied a lot of philosophy, but what I've always learned is that everyone had a start. Everything had a start. Essentially, school is just you learning other people who learn from other people who learn from other people who learn from life experience and other people. So really, it's about just finding the right information that makes the most sense to you and correlating it into real life data that you have in your own experience. That sounds very cold and calculating, but it's honestly what it needs to be. I mean, so we've been talking about the interlude shadow, the inner shadow of yourself. I mean, what do you think about the music video? I mean, I do agree that
it was cool as hell.
Yeah, it was cool as hell. I like the where it would turn to drawing and then go back to physical, but I like that they had that physically there. Like it looked like flecks of like red snow type dust or something that was just like melted crayon or something. Like it was kind of cool looking. It was very trippy, and I love how they said in that paragraph that it's like reflections of the parts of your soul that are open. You know, I want to be rich. I want to be powerful. I want to be this. I want to do that. I want to be a rap star, a rock star. You know,
like I think all of that is even reflected in the fact that there's multiple doors that these shadows are coming out of. It's not coming from one place, one specific place.
Yeah, so it's multiple pieces to create that inner shadow within itself. You know, so. I like that. And I like that the inner shadow is always trying to go, but he almost like slips out from underneath it, you know, a little too close for comfort, but then realizes he needs to confront that to be able to accept that exists within him. Yeah. Because in all honesty, if you don't accept stuff like that exists, then it will control you eventually. And you kind of don't want that. Because that's when you start making compromises on your decisions, and when you start making huge amounts of compromise, not good compromise, I'm talking about the bad stuff. Like, I mean, I guess it's okay if I just rob this guy. Like, it's like you can't. That's a bigger step, but it starts with, I guess it's okay if I just like sneak this candy bar in my pocket when you're 5. Yeah. And as it gets bigger, it's like, man, it's actually kind of fun. Let me steal this magazine real quick, and then hey, he's not looking. Let's take this porn mag. Like, you know, like it escalates if you allow it to gain like a foothold in your soul, you know? Yeah. So you got to be balanced and confront and look for that balance to keep in key at all times, because you don't want it to get tipped over, because then you'll find out decisions can be made that can possibly ruin your life too. So, and everybody makes mistakes. We all fail, but it's just how you get up from them is what matters. What about you? Any thoughts? Any more thoughts?
No.
You kind of look like you want to take a nap now.
Hungry. I'm always hungry though.
I actually tried to order chip bags just so you would have something to eat in between
takes. I eat on the way here, but I always get hungry. It's lunchtime.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
It's okay though.
Listen, my friends, don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you know when new things are coming out. Go ahead and check out our sponsor, mk5studios.com. If you have a business, and that's the number 5. If you have a business, not just an individual. Hey, I just want to say you do a great job of graphic design. Thanks, guy. You got any money? No, I just want to say you do a great job of graphic design.
That could be a Google review. They can be like,
they
hey,
just say that?
Yeah, you guys do great graphics. Work. That's right. 5-star Google. Boom.
Honestly, it'd be great to get that instead of the person who keeps spamming my crap where it's like, hey, Joe does a great job, but Martha does a great job in selling cryptocurrency. Those side-eye stupid reviews that pop up, and I'm like, I can't delete them. I have to tell Facebook, hey, that's not a review for me. That's giving a WhatsApp number to some crypto lady. And they're like, oh, yeah, we've been getting a lot of those lately. I'm like, why don't, since the language hasn't changed in the past 8 reviews, why not just put some filters on there so that stops being successful? One, you shouldn't be able to put contact information in a review or a comment, period. Well, maybe someone else's page link, but not in a review be able to put a WhatsApp number right in there. That should not be available or allowed.
I like to play so much. Here's my WhatsApp number, and that's why I need it. Right there.
I don't know. It's so weird. It's just weird. It's super weird. I don't know why it's weird. It's just weird.
Don't be weird.
Don't be weird. Be cool. Anyways, better health, better wealth, my friends. Have a great day.